I binged Umbrella Academy last night.
Oh, snap.
Yeah, 10 hours of my life are now
All
gone.
right. What'd you think?
Mixed feelings.
Yeah, very mixed feelings. Go watch Doom Patrol.
I don't I need these. Hello, listeners, and thank you for tuning into Those Nerds Over There. This is an enthusiast podcast centered around celebrating and discussing nerd culture. We're your hosts. I'm Alan.
And I'm Sal.
And Sal, wouldn't you know it, I feel like garbage.
You don't sound like garbage. You were very enthused.
Professionalism.
Right?
But thanks in part to my lovely roommates and friends, because I am officially graduated. Woo!
Yes. Throw away everything.
No. No, but my lovely roommates and friends threw me a surprise graduation party, last night, and I maybe raged a little too hard during Rage Cage.
Ah, I see.
Yes, but I want to thank my roommates Forrest, Madison, and Vicky, and our lovely friends Adri, Janina, Neil, Steven, both of you, Matt, Mackenzie, and Max for coming to that and celebrating with me. We had a really fun time.
That sounds fantastic. It's funny because you're like, oh man, I probably drank too much, and I never drink too much. And I've never seen you drink too much, so it's kind of hard to imagine it.
Remind me to show you some videos, some embarrassing videos later.
Ah, perfect.
Perfect. It's funny you bring that up. I was in an email chain with my mentor, and in my last one, I was talking to him about my New Year's Eve party where I drank too much and said I would swear off alcohol, and apparently this is something I do very often. Because he just responds, "Oh, I've heard that before."
Oh no. I mean, to be fair, not that you're an alcoholic. Any person that drinks like that always says that. So, that could be the reason why he said, "I've heard that before." Unless it's just you that always says it, in which case, yikes.
Let's go with the former then.
You're right. So, it's going to be my birthday in a couple of weeks, so you're going to be invited to that.
It is. Should we mention that both of our birthdays are in the same month?
Sure.
Okay, both of our birthdays are in the same month, so April is also exciting because of that.
Yes, April's going to be great because of nerd culture and because Alan and Sal were born.
But on the topic of birthdays, we'd like to wish a late birthday to our very close friend Hughes.
Yes.
And an early birthday to our very close friend Suspiria.
Who is my Twitch stream partner, or I'm his partner. I don't know.
Your co-hosts.
Yes.
There you go. But we wish them happy birthday and thank you for the support.
Yay, even though March sucks.
And also, I'd like to say a very special thanks to my co-host Sal.
Oh, you're welcome.
Was it Sal has been a little behind the scenes peak, but Sal's been a very busy worker bee, working on the behind the scenes Those Nerds Over There. And because of him, we have our website open. We have our YouTube page. We're on Spotify now.
Yes, very, very big things. We're on everywhere that matters, basically. And if there's a place that you listen to your podcast that we're not on, please let us know so we can be on there.
Hell yeah. I was just talking to Madison the other day about this. It's like, when I told her we got on Spotify, she's like, what the hell, you didn't tell us? Like,
right?
I might actually listen to you guys now and I understand that sentiment because I was trying to listen to Apple Podcasts and that is just
A nightmare.
probably the worst app ever. And I just listen on Spotify only now.
Yeah, I was actually, when me and Suspiria were streaming, I told a couple of our watchers that, and they were asking what platforms are we on, and when we said Spotify, they were like, heck yeah, I'll go listen to it. So it's so nice to be on Spotify now. Because I feel like that's the most accessible for everybody.
Oh,
so
for
know.
Yeah, I don't, and like they just got sleep timer functionality too. So like right now is a great time to listen to Spotify podcasts.
Yes.
But thank you to my friends. Thank you to Sal. And should we get into our nerd question?
Yes, and thank you to Karen.
Oh, and thank you to our listeners. We definitely never say this enough, but thank you so much for listening.
Yeah, we wouldn't be here without all the support.
And so this is what, for first time listeners, that we call the nut jar. This is a jar I emptied of its nuts, and now is filled with listener submitted questions. These are fun nerd themed questions that we throw out into the audio space and on social media, and we'd love to hear like people's opinions and answers to these questions. If you're interested in submitting some kind of question, getting a shout out on the show, feel free to send the question to our Twitter at thosenerdscast or our email, thosenerdscast@gmail.com. Be sure to include some kind of like social media tag or something you want to shout out for, so we can direct people to the cool person that sent the question. But here we go.
Yeah, and we promise we'll try not to butcher it.
We always promise. Oh, goodness. Okay, I might have to draw a second one also for this one, but this is from our very close friend Hughes.
Oh.
Who asked, is Cory in the House the best anime?
Oh, God.
I think
he went for a meme.
He did, but you can find him on Instagram at LEAU_TheGold.
Yes.
Hughes is a photographer, actually, and he takes really good pictures of food.
Oh, yes, of food and of other things. He's actually my blog partner. So if you go to my blog, gottamoment.com, which is GOTTA, he posts photography over there every Friday, and it's really good stuff. So I recommend that.
All right, but his question, is Cory in the House the best anime? So,
no.
Oh, that was quick. I think, I kind of want to take a moment to kind of dissect this, because, like, Hughes asked this question. Let's not leave him high and dry.
Oh, yes.
All right, what are elements of an anime? We have waifus.
Yes.
We have fight scenes.
Yes.
Right? What are some other elements that are necessary to be a good anime?
Over-the-top comedy.
Over-the-top comedy. All right. I think Cory in the House might definitely fulfill that.
Oh, it does.
Okay.
I don't even remember the characters' names, but there was definitely a waifu in there.
I remember there was Mina, and I remember there was the girl that Cory ends up with, who was the student council president, and I think she's definitely probably waifu material.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't even watch the whole thing, so you know.
No? Wait, what?
What? That show was kind of very later in my life, so I was.
Cory in the House is great.
I mean, I was kind of done with the Disney Channel by that point.
By that point?
Yeah, because, I felt like a lot of the shows I'd loved were kind of already gone, and these newer shows were okay. Mm-hmm. But anyway, maybe I'm just old. I do love the memes, though, like when they had the Super Smash Brothers ballot, and someone photoshopped Cory, and it's like Cory is in the house for his like Smash banner, and I thought that was fantastic.
My favorite was the one they did for Mr. Mosby.
Oh yeah,
Sweet Life.
Mosby checks in.
Oh goodness.
I love all of those. They're so good.
Well, okay, you have not seen enough of this show, so let's throw this question back into the ocean.
All right.
Listeners, do you think Cory in the House is the best anime?
Watch us just get flooded by Cory in the House gifts.
I mean, I welcome that wholeheartedly.
I feel like there might have been some ridiculous, stupid thing. Like maybe people protesting to put Cory in the House on my anime list or something.
What?
I feel like something like that has had to happen.
I mean, was it that Pingu anime is on there, isn't it?
Yes, you are right.
If that is an anime. But,
The lines have been blurred.
The lines. Thank you, mainstream media. But this is actually a new question that got added recently from the other birthday person. We got both birthday questions.
Hey.
This comes from our friend Suspiria. You can find him on Twitch at Where Is Suspiria, spelled Suspiria. And this one's kind of a more serious question, I feel. And he asks, you've talked about some of the pros of nerd culture being more mainstream, but what are your opinions on the cons?
Oh, yes. Okay. Yeah, this is a kind of a deep question.
It is. And I had a little more time to think on it because I added it to the jar.
Right. Well, do you want to go first then?
I mean, I honestly couldn't think of any super major cons, at least ones that bugged me.
One sticks out very much so to me. So.
Oh, what is it?
So I always talk about like when I went to Anime Expo and stuff, you know, and just being a nerd in general, I always feel very welcome.
Uh-huh.
But I feel like inclusion is a big problem for like gay culture and women.
Elaborate?
So like among a lot of nerd groups, be it like video games or not so much anime, but usually video games and like card games and stuff like that, women aren't treated very well in those scenes.
Oh, okay, I see.
Yeah, and I mean, same with a lot of the gay culture and stuff. But yeah, so you know, we're all nerds, and we went through being made fun of in high school and stuff, and now we're kind of doing the same thing to other people within our community.
But wait, do you think like kind of nerd culture becoming more mainstream you don't think it's, you know, become more inclusive of like, you know, females and people of LGBT?
It's definitely getting better, right? But right. I think it's kind of a slow transition, a little too slow, I guess, for my liking. So, but
that's not a con of it becoming more mainstream. Then
it's a con of becoming more mainstream and just in general, because it hasn't always been this way, right? So yeah.
No, I'm just wondering because like the question just says like, what are the cons of it becoming more mainstream?
More mainstream,
right? And I think, you know, a product of it becoming more mainstream is this albeit slow, but the existence of the transition in the first place, right?
Maybe. I don't know. Is it getting better because it's mainstream, or is it getting worse because it's mainstream?
I'm more inclined to believe it's becoming better, right? Mostly because like hitting the mainstream, you're starting to include more viewpoints.
True, but also, I don't know. It's hard because I don't know if it becoming mainstream helps it. I think people are just speaking out more in general, and that's why it's helping. And I don't know if that's a product of it becoming mainstream or if people are kind of just tired of it.
Okay, so
and speaking out. So
then this is how I'm interpreting. So you're saying like hitting the mainstream, nerd culture is absorbing more of our cultural biases, aka like, you know, anti-female.
Yeah.
But because you know, it's absorbing those, we have more people speaking out.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I mean, yeah, you explained that a lot better than I did, but I don't know. I think it's a problem, and
hungover Alan, he's here for
right
dissecting answers.
Hey, let's go. But I think that's a pretty big con of, you know, mainstream culture and the nerd culture in general, I guess. So I mean, that's the deeper side, so...
No, I mean, that's good. I think it's definitely, like, I'm always surprised, you know, when you hear, like, we're in this age where information is, like, you can get it like that.
Yeah.
And there's still, like, a large majority of people that are just, like, I will say misinformed.
Right.
Right. So I think you bringing this up is very important, right? To, like, because you got to talk about it.
Yeah.
Because surprisingly, there are some people that don't know.
Right. And, you know, it becoming mainstream, I mean, mainstreamness attracts more trolls, too. So, you know, there's
yes.
that.
Do you have any other cons that you can think of?
Well, if you have one, go ahead and say it, but I'm going to try to think of a lighter one, I guess.
Honestly, because, okay, like when you met me, I'm pretty into mainstream media and whatnot.
Yeah.
So, like, I guess I don't know. I feel like there's been so much good to come out of nerd culture hitting mainstream media. Like, I know that I'm deviating from the question now, but just the other week, I'm just reading all these articles about high schools, like, students starting up D&D clubs. And I'm like, this is, like, so fucking cool.
Yeah, it is cool. I'm not saying nothing good is coming out of it, right?
Right,
the question is what bad is coming out of it.
Right, I'm sorry. I shouldn't put those words in your mouth.
Yeah. Like, there's definitely so much good that comes out of nerd culture being more mainstream and relevant in general.
I'm wondering if Sus had any, like, thing in mind when he posed this question.
I don't know. I guess another thing, a con, I guess, that would be for nerd culture becoming mainstream is that certain nerd genres or just, I guess, things in general kind of absorb this cool status. And if you don't like that and you like something else, then you're not cool. Even though your guys are kind of both nerds.
No, I see what you're talking about.
Yeah, that one's lighter.
No, I mean, that is a real shame to have, like, you know, let's look at something that I can relate to, because I gotta talk about things in context with me.
Yes.
Video games. I love video games, and Warframe for some reason and Destiny for some reason, the fans like to constantly compare the two, and I guess I'll say Destiny players more dissing Warframe players. That's because Warframe players are typically super nice.
Right.
But it's like, well, hold up now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like that. Like, can't we like both?
Exactly. Because when it was only a small number of nerds, you know, it's, we're all nerds, you know, we can all have our differences. But now that there's so many, they kind of fall into these groups. And it's funny that you mentioned Destiny and Warframe, because that happens a lot with things like League of Legends and Dota, or...
we were a part of that.
Yeah, we were a part of that. And that happens with Overwatch and all the other Overwatch-like games, too, so...
Dang. Yeah, we're forming nerd cliques now, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a shame.
You know, we're all nerds. Just respect each other's differences, which can be hard sometimes, because sometimes it's hard for me when someone says they like a certain anime. So, you know. But you gotta respect it.
It's like, you don't have to like it, but you gotta respect it.
There you go.
All right, let's throw this one into the audience then. Listeners, if there's been something that, you know, the effect of nerd culture becoming mainstream you feel is upsetting, we kind of want to hear about it. This is actually a very interesting topic to me now.
Yeah, it's definitely something worth talking about, since it is so mainstream and we should address problems.
Ooh, I like that, yeah.
Yeah, and, you know, to any listeners out there that do experience these problems, just know that those nerds over there is a safe space.
Hell yeah.
All right. So, Alan, what did you get excited about this week?
So, before the drunken haze set in, I got really excited about Stranger Things Season 3.
Hey!
Hell yes. Oh my goodness. Like, this show was actually the catalyst that got my friends to basically say yes to a D&D group.
Oh my god. That's amazing.
Yeah, they were all hooked on Stranger Things, and they saw that the kids were playing D&D. I'm like, hey, you guys want to do D&D? Like, oh yeah, just like in Stranger Things. I'm like, sure.
Yeah, it's just like that.
I hadn't watched Stranger Things yet at the time when they said that, but I did later, and good lord, am I hooked on this show.
Yeah.
I did not grow up in the 80s, but my goodness, is this aesthetic. Cursed word again. Amazing.
Oh yes, it's so great. You know, we're both. I like how we continue to call each other old, and then we talk about the 80s, and we're like, we're so young.
Yeah, no, I that's like so it turns out I'm Gen Z, but that's like a thing we like to joke about, right?
Oh yeah.
You're a millennial, I'm Gen Z. We like to joke about us getting old now.
So, you know. But yeah, I love Stranger Things. I remember when it first came out, I binge watched the first season so hard. Just in one night. I heard about it at like midnight, and I was like, well, just gonna watch the whole thing right now.
It's like, were you Team Steve or Team Jonathan?
I was Team Jonathan.
Ooh, nice.
Why, do you like Steve?
I like both of them.
Yeah. I didn't even know about the whole thing until someone brought it up, and I was like, oh no, we're going back to the Jacob and Edward thing again? Okay.
Yeah, no, I didn't know either until frickin' Sus brought it up.
Oh, yeah. So, but it's funny because Jonathan season 1, Steve season 2.
Oh, like, okay, I can't remember Jonathan really doing much in season 2. And that's a real shame, right? Because like anyone that's watched the show knows the same shame, and anyone who hasn't seen it, watch the show. There's a reason people love it so much. That's really bad advertisement. All right, but so the official season 3 trailer came out March 20th, and prior to that we had a fun 80s themed commercial for season 3 that was basically advertising the mall that is opening, which is that seems to be one of the major locations for this new season. We get to celebrate capitalism in this next season. But yeah, so the release date that we've been given is July 4th, and July is now looking like the next April because we also have Fire Emblem in July.
Oh yeah, and it's very interesting that they picked July, but also cool because it's set during summer, and usually it's set during Halloween, so that's when we expect it to come out, but we're getting it early.
We're getting it on the 4th of July, coinciding with like what's going on in the show.
Yeah.
But things I'm looking forward to in this season. I'm really shipping Hopper and Joyce.
Oh, you're one of those.
Excuse me?
No, I get it. I 100% get it, but I just don't ship it.
Wow. Well, I'll have you know, apparently David Harbour supports that ship.
You know, the cast supports it, so it must be great, right?
I mean, I don't know, I just love both of these are single parents that we have seen work so hard, like risking their lives for their kids.
You're right.
And it would just be nice to like see these two people who are, you know, cool with each other. I don't know, it would just be nice to
for them to be happy for a second until everything goes to crap.
Exactly. There we go. Thank you, Sal.
Yeah.
I want to see more Hopper dad moments now that he is, was it at the end of season 2, spoilers, you know, 11 is now like officially, they don't need to hide her or anything. She can go to school with the rest of them. And I want to see those like actual moments of, you know, Hopper being this like redeemed dad and like what is it like 2018 2017 like dads are in right now. Dads are hot right now.
Oh no, I'm not arguing with you. I love Hopper dad. He was great. He just wanted the best for her.
There's and from the season 3 trailer, I love that he's wearing those like, you know, those fun summer Hawaiian button-up shirts.
Oh, I did not even notice that.
he's wearing that shirt in many of the trailer scenes. I'm like,
that's fantastic.
Yeah, full on leaning into dad aesthetic. I love it. I love it.
One of the things I'm excited for is this like proposed or seemingly shown time skip, I guess.
Oh, is it? Because the last season ended in the spring, right?
Right. But they were saying they said or did something that made me think there was some kind of time skip.
It might be just the kind of overall theme they're kind of pushing in
Maybe.
the trailer. Something I'm looking forward to also, that theme. Like, they're really pushing this idea that these kids are growing up and, yes, physically, the actors, you know, that's one of the things about having child actors, right?
Yeah.
They grow up really fast.
I mean, that's kind of the reason, because I was like, are we just gonna pretend these these people are like still in elementary school?
Right, but it's now the characters are having this like bittersweet moment in the trailer, right, where they're realizing they're growing up, and Mike, Finn Wolfhard's character, even says like, "Oh, what did you think? We were just gonna stay in my basement and play games forever?"
Yeah.
I'm like, "Oh, that's so sad."
Which, by the way, how dare you? Yes, that's exactly what we're doing. Nerd culture.
Okay, I really hope this season they actually give Will like character development.
Oh my god, I know. I love Will's character, but they never do anything.
Yeah, like they have him there, but he's not like there.
He's just always this like catalyst for the bad stuff.
And I'm just like, I want to know more about Will.
Yeah, I'm 100% with you on that one.
Please, Duffer Brothers, more Will. We want to know more about Will.
Poor innocent sweet boy.
And then the final thing I'm really looking forward to. There's a scene from the trailer where you have Max and Eleven in like they're hanging out in the room, and I really want to see them become like friends, because during season 2, right, their only interaction was a very cold one where Max introduced herself and Eleven just like brushed her off, right?
Right.
I'm just like, oh no, I want her to have some fun female friends.
Well, you know, 11 thought she was being replaced, so...
You know, I'm glad to see, like, that scene's got to be hinting at they're going to become friends, and I want to see that.
Yeah, that'd be great. It's nice to have them work together. And I don't know what they're going to do with 11 and her powers. Like, is that book kind of closed, or...
Oh, Sal, you saw the trailer, didn't you?
Yeah?
Yeah, you know that, like, you saw her dipping back into that dark space. You saw the new fucking demon that they summoned.
That's not what I mean.
With teeth.
I mean, definitely they're going back to that kind of thing, but I mean, because in the second season, we got introduced that she has like this sister, and you know, they talk about more about the experimentation and whatnot. Mm-hmm. Like, are we gonna, like, is that book closed? Not the fact that she just has powers and is doing these things, you know?
A cynical conversation I had with my close friend Omar was that, like, Kali was introduced for potential spin-off material.
Ah.
Yeah. But like I said, that was cynical, you know, production conversation kind of thing.
Right. That does make sense. But nonetheless, I would kind of like to know more, or get that kind of resolved, or even just say, yeah, we're not going back to it. Like, you know what you know. And
was it during season 2, they really, like, there was that meme with Steve and even his actor, right? Joe Keery started doing that meme where Steve is like the best mom.
Oh, yes.
And was it just because during the trailer it's nice to see that he's like kept this nice relationship with Dustin.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man. Talk about redeemable characters.
Did you not think Steve was redeemed in the first season when he came back to help Nancy and Jonathan?
No, not really.
Whoa, okay.
I mean, I don't know. It was fine, but I still didn't like his character. But season 2 just like totally flipped everything. And I hope they do that with Max's brother.
Oh, okay. The only thing we saw with Max's brother was like he's a lifeguard.
It's probably still a douche.
He was wearing those douche sunglasses.
Yeah, so, you know.
But I think there's definitely some setup for him, right? Because they had the whole scene with him and his dad, right?
Yeah.
And like he's like that way because of his relationship with his dad. Not that excuses it.
Right. Oh, no, I was just going to say, Yeah, I definitely want to see more development on his character.
But there's a new character that's being introduced that I think was basically written for you, Sal, for you to love.
What?
At the end of the season 3 trailer, and we saw her during the mall trailer. Steve is working at like the ice cream whatever store at the food court in the mall, and his coworker is this girl named Robin, who is basically like okay, she's listed as alternative girl bored with her job.
Uh-huh. I was like,
Wikipedia.
I was like, where are you going with this? That she would be my type of character.
This is the very like what Nick Fury said in was it Captain Marvel's like disaffected niece.
Ah, yes. I know, I 100% agree with that. But I didn't know. I thought she was just a character. I didn't know she was gonna be an important character.
Yeah, she was in that one scene where I'm pretty sure she was in that scene where they're all at the mall and they're all bloodied and like all the lights except for the neon lights are on.
Oh, I did not notice that. Okay, I'm down with that.
Hell yeah.
More female cast.
I mean, the season's looking so hype.
Yeah. So, and we kind of forgot to say spoilers, but
I mean, I said season 3 at the beginning.
Yeah.
That isn't just like spoiler red flag. I'm so sorry.
we're gonna talk about everything before this season.
I just love David Harbour so much. Started following his Instagram account when he went to Antarctica during that time.
Because why not?
Because he hung out with the penguins. It was so great.
All right.
Ooh, season 3, July 4th. Like, I kind of want to set up a thing where, like, we can watch it together. I don't know. I remember someone on Sus's Discord was setting up, like, a rab.it, like, viewing thing.
Uh-huh.
And I wonder if, like, we could do something like that for, like, premieres.
Oh, that could be interesting.
Ooh.
That would be cool to do for the premiere of Game of Thrones, even though HBO has a problem with you showing their stuff, but...
All right. No, season 3, July 4th. Watch it with us.
It's going to be great. Unfortunately for me, July 4th is during Anime Expo, and Hughes is dragging me back into it this year again. So I'm most likely going to go to that, so I'm going to have to wait till I get back to watch Stranger Things.
I mean, but if there's a listener here that is going to Anime Expo...
That's true. I will be there. You know,
track Sal down on the convention floor.
Try to find me in just the flood of people. I'll try to make sure to wear something that stands out. Maybe I'll cosplay this year. I'm not promising though.
You should cosplay. Okay, I did my first cosplay and I made my, Ratch cosplay.
It looks so much fun.
It is so much fun, and like when I wore it, I was so proud that I made a thing.
Right? So, maybe.
Before we move on, Sal, listeners, we wanted to put a promo here for Livestream for the Cure. It's this amazing charity livestream that's being hosted by the guys from the Epic Film Guys podcast, but we'll let you hear it from their mouths.
Justin, can you believe it's almost time?
Time for what?
The 2019 Livestream for the Cure. This is our 3rd year hosting this amazing event with every single cent going toward cancer research.
The Cancer Research Institute funds research into immunotherapy to create a future immune to all forms of cancer.
And this amazing nonprofit organization is rated over 92% by charitynavigator.org and puts 88 cents of every dollar toward cancer research.
Last year, thanks to an amazing team of collaborators, fans, supporters, and listeners, we raised over $5,000 in 30 hours on the air.
And this year, with your help, we're going for our biggest goal yet.
Tune in May 17th to the 19th on twitch.tv/epicfilmguys for 40 hours of amazing content as we try to reach $7,500.
And for more information or to find out how you can become a part of the event, please visit www.livestreamforthecure.com. Together, we can make a difference.
So, Sal,
Yes.
what'd you get excited about this week?
All right. So there were a lot of things to get excited about. You know, Stranger Things. There was a Toy Story trailer, which, by the way, you should go watch. Oh no!
Sorry, I didn't. No, I'm not gonna get into that. That's not the energy I want.
All right, but anyway, what I got excited about is Nintendo released 2 directs. Actually, I'm gonna be talking
2?
about I'm gonna be talking about one of them, but they released 2 directs just out of nowhere.
Wait, what was the second one?
So the second one was the Nintendo Labo is getting a second set, which is gonna be VR based. Yeah, and it looks okay, but I got super upset because they have a VR camera and it looks so cool, and I'm just like, where is my Pokemon Snap? Take my money, Nintendo.
Man, you really want that Snap remake?
I do. But anyway, that VR thing aside, so their other Nintendo Direct was called the Nindies Nintendo Showcase, which showcased a bunch of games, a bunch of indie games that are coming to the Nintendo Switch. Mm-hmm. And surprisingly, these games are not, well, there's 2 of them that are kind of just old and are going to be ported, but all the other games are new games.
Oh, snap. So, okay, I thought these were all ports at first.
Yeah, so it's super nice because the Nintendo Switch has been, playing catch up, getting games ported, but now they're just getting new indie games and stuff. So none of these games, except I think 2, are out already. So there was 17 games during the showcase, and I'm gonna list them. But
okay.
I'm gonna list them, yeah, but I'm not gonna talk about all of them. I'm only gonna talk about the few that stood out. And so you got Cuphead, Overland, My Friend Pedro, Neocab, The Red Lantern, Darkwood, Katana Zero, Rad, Creature in the Well, Bloodroots, Pine, Super Crate Box, Nuclear Throne, Ultra Bugs, Swim Sanity, Blaster Master Zero, Stranger Things 3, the game, and the Crypt of the Necrodancer Zelda port, or Zelda DLC, I guess.
Yes. Oh, I don't know if it's DLC, but I saw that trailer. It looks like they just converted a whole Zelda game into the Crypt of the Necrodancer thing.
Oh, buy it separately kind of thing? It's its own thing?
I think so, because it's not even called Crypt of the Necrodancer. It's
That's true.
It's like Hyrule something featuring Crypt of the Necrodancer.
Yeah. I think it's called Cadence of Hyrule.
There we go.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's exciting, even though I have Crypt of the Necrodancer. Oh, I'm so bad at that game.
Oh my god. No, I get that. I remember you and our friend Glenn were getting into Osu, and I tried getting into it with you guys, but I'm just shit at rhythm games.
Yeah. That's the problem though. I'm okay at rhythm games. I usually can pick them up pretty easily, but this game, I don't know what it is. I can't. I just can't.
No? Did you try... Was it this... Okay, one of the cool things I saw from Crypt of the Necrodancer is that they had a music import tool, so you could just import your own music and you could play using that.
Oh, that is super cool.
Do you think if you played with songs you're familiar with, it would have helped?
I don't know. I don't think that's it. It's not the whole beat aspect, because I can usually get that part down. It's memorizing creature patterns and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and figuring out when's the good time to run away, and then I always forget I have items. So it's a lot to remember while also making sure you're playing to the beat of the game.
I see, yeah.
Yeah, it's just really hard for me, so.
Yeah, it's if I wanted to play StarCraft, I would have played that.
Right? So anyway, so Cuphead is coming to Nintendo Switch. And that's super exciting because I have yet to play Cuphead.
Did they mention, is it including the DLC for Cuphead where they have I don't remember her name, but it was like the female cup?
They did not mention a female cup, so I don't
Damn.
know. But yeah. So when they did announce Cuphead, they were talking about their relationship with Microsoft and how they just have a good relationship right now, and that's why they're able to port all these games. So I find that really interesting that Nintendo has this like partnership and Sony's kind of just been on its own, like refusing to work with anybody.
It's funny you brought that up because I saw someone else bring it up where it was like, yeah, we're getting all these ports to Nintendo Switch, but like Mario is still very much Nintendo exclusive.
Yeah, that's definitely true. I didn't even think about that. It's like, when are we getting a Mario on the Xbox? But so some of the games I want to talk about, I'm gonna go through them, at a decent speed because I don't want to take too much time. There's a game called Overland. It's coming out this fall. It's a turn-based strategy game, kind of like XCOM or Fire Emblem. And it is set in a post-apocalyptic world where you're trying to survive, and it's a very story-driven game where your choices matter kind of thing. And each campaign is different because all the maps and characters are randomly generated, so it kind of feels like a XCOM Don't Starve.
Yeah, it's like it's a roguelike turn-based strategy.
Yeah. So that game, super interesting, and I definitely want to play it because I love those kinds of games. I mean, I have Don't Starve, This War of Mine, games like that. I just love the aesthetic of
You're very into dark, like...
Yeah, dark story-based choices matter kind of games. I love the board game Dead of Winter, so there's that too.
Oh my goodness, like, y'all introduced me to that. That is the hardest game we've ever played.
Oh yeah, it's hard.
But I've seen gameplay for Overland before, and I'm like, oh shit, it looks so cool. It's like, our Fire Emblem love, but you also got like survival elements and the random like aspect, and there's dogs.
Yeah. Yes, they actually they brought that up during the gameplay. They're like, or you could save your dog. Please save the dog.
Oh, that's great.
So, and speaking of dogs, so the next game is called The Red Lantern, and it's by Timberland Games. They said it's their debut title. Yeah, so I'm guessing this is the first game they make. The game is coming out, it just says later this year, and I really hate when they say that, but it's a story-based survival game where you play this girl who is racing in this thing called the Iditarod, which...
Oh, yeah, that's the Alaskan sled dog race.
Yes, I did not know that beforehand. So, yeah, she's trying to prove herself racing in this dog sled competition, but then something goes wrong, and so now you're trying to survive with your dogs and trying to get home. So that game looks super cool, and it has I wish I knew art terms to describe the look of this game.
Mm-hmm.
But it's kind of this I think it's kind of this like Telltale style of art that I like. So
like very heavy outline,
and not the heavy outlines, just kind of like the 3D model, kind of cartoonish, kind of not.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to describe, but I love the look of the game, and I love survival games, so there's that. And you get to travel with all your doggies, so
it's like when you were explaining the plot to this, or from the trailer for this game, like you actually gave me goosebumps. Because I swear, this is like the exact plot of this one book my class had to read in middle school, and that's where I learned about the Iditarod.
Oh.
Where is this girl, she's racing the Iditarod, and she's trying to prove, like, yeah, she can, like, win it, and during the race, she gets trapped on an iceberg.
Oh, interesting.
And you're telling me this story, I'm like, holy shit, did this book get adapted into a game?
That would be super cool.
Yeah, I remember the story was like really scary because like her dad had recently Iditarod and he like lost some of his fingers because of frostbite.
Oof.
And it was just like this intense thing. I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah. So yeah, super interesting, and it's pretty different. So I'm very much looking forward to that one.
Later this year.
Later this year. Very ambiguous. The next one is called Katana Zero, and it is an action roguelike, I think. I always don't know what's roguelike and what's not. And it's like a pixel platformer kind of game where you play an assassin who has the ability to slow down and rewind time.
Ooh, people love bullet time.
Yeah, and so you're this samurai with the katana, and you're going through these levels, taking down all these guys with guns, and you can deflect their bullets back at them, and slow down time to get these cool combos, and it's actually pretty story driven as well. I love story driven games. So, and to all the people who think single player games are dead, how dare you? So, but yeah, and the cool thing about this game is they prefaced it by saying how hard it is, because if you get shot once, you're dead.
Holy shit. Is this by the same people that made Hyper Light Drifter?
I have no idea.
Because that's like...
Let's find out.
Yeah, Hyper Light Drifter is like the same concept, except instead of this like the 2D kind of platformer view, you're on a top-down isometric view.
Oh, it's by ASCII Soft?
Like the artwork style?
No, that's the developer.
Is that for Katana Zero or Hyper Light Drifter?
Yeah, for Katana Zero. So let's go to Hyper Light Drifter. Oh, I've seen this game before.
Yeah, it's kind of, and Hyper Light Drifter kind of has these same like neon light aesthetics.
Yeah. No, the developer is Heart Machine for Hyper Light Drifter. So, two different developers, same kind of concept, and same kind of art style. But yeah, it's super cool. It kind of reminds me of Celeste, actually.
Oh my god, Celeste.
Yeah, and I'm excited about that because I love those kind of games, and the ability to rewind time doesn't really take effect in the game. It's just when you die, you rewind time and go back to the beginning. And it's a kind of about like learning what works and what doesn't work,
Also, like, yeah, that's like very Celeste.
Yeah.
Platformers in general.
Yeah. Platformers.
I didn't realize you were a big fan of platformers.
I'm usually not, but when they're like Celeste or have these like unique things about them that stick out to me, I'll play them.
Ooh, okay.
The next game is called Creature in the Well, and it comes out this summer. Another vague one. I hate you. And it is an action-adventure game inspired by pinball. Where you are this character who has this sword-like weapon, and you're hitting these energy balls to attack things, and they're just bouncing around, and that's the thing that does damage, and that's how you play the game. You're just hitting these balls around and doing these puzzles while trying to survive, because it's also kind of like a bullet hell kind of thing too. And I thought the concept was super unique.
What was that arcade style fighter you and Glenn used to play that was the hitting of the balls?
Lethal League.
Oh my god, it sounds like this.
Yeah, it's kind of like that, except that one is a fighter that's kind of based around hitting a ball to hit your enemy. And this one is just a top-down? Would that be what it's considered?
I mean, if you're looking... Like, if it's like a Zelda, that's top-down.
Okay, yeah, it's like a Zelda. And it's not like on a 2D plane, or 2D, like a 2D fighter. Yeah, it has that kind of same aesthetic, but you'll have like multiple balls like going at once, right? So... Yeah.
Right, so that's the bullet hell part.
Yeah. And it's supposed to be, they said it's supposed to be very easy to pick up and very hard to master. It looks super fun and very unique. And it's centered around this world this where they're stuck in this like sand dystopia kind of thing, and you're the last engineer of your race or something, and you're trying to fix these machines and defeat this creature that's causing all this madness.
Whoa.
So yeah, it looks super interesting, and I think, again, back to art style because I don't know how to describe it.
I mean, based on that story, I'm getting like Shadow of Colossus meets like Journey vibes.
I will send this picture to you real quick. Maybe you can describe it. I love how you can be like, yeah, it's like this game, and I'm like, those things don't come up for me.
Huh. Alright, it's kind of looking like, I want to say, a washed out Bastion, maybe?
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, kind of like that.
Or yeah, kind of like a washed out like Transistor. Did you ever play that one?
Yeah, well, I didn't play it, but
you know
okay.
of it.
I do know of it. And can I tell a quick story?
Go for it.
Our mutual friend Josh was such a big fan of Bastion that one Christmas I bought him Transistor, and it sat in his gift inventory for about 5 years before he finally logged on to accept it.
Wow. That's kind of crazy.
Love you, Josh.
But yeah, the gameplay's super unique, and I do really enjoy the art style, so I'm excited to play that one.
I mean, I'm now watching some clips from this, and it looks kind of like mayhem, and I'm kind of into it.
Right?
And it's got, like, fucking pinballs, right? Like, they're showing them hitting, like, the bumpers, and you're getting, like, the score points.
Yeah, just, you definitely have to see the game, played, because the idea of having this game being based off pinball doesn't, like, it's kind of hard to comprehend until you see it.
Especially since, like, pinball isn't really something as ubiquitous as it used to be.
Oh, yeah, definitely. So, yeah. So now, the last game is Stranger Things 3, the game. So we talked about Stranger Things, and I don't know if you heard about the game yet.
I know about the ones they did for the phone.
Okay. Well, this one is going to be it's actually going to be a companion game to the season 3.
Whoa.
So it comes out the exact same time, and it's based around the exact same story, and it actually lets you like delve deeper into the story and the events that take place into the game. So that's super cool that you can, get more information and, go around the world and stuff. And it is a retro style game, kind of like, did you ever play like Scott Pilgrim versus the World, that game?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, or the old kind of like the Simpsons arcade game.
I didn't do that. I think the oldest game I played was Contra.
Okay. Well, that one has guns, right?
Yeah. But I mean, like, that's the, like, retro game, I mean.
Yeah.
But that's like a wild concept for me right now, that this Netflix series is releasing a companion game along with their show.
Yeah. I mean, it's something I did not see coming, but makes a lot of sense, right? Because they do all these 80s aesthetic, so making a game that's super 80s is so fun. I love that idea. And the game actually comes out July 4th, the same day the season comes out. So yeah, it looks super fun. I'm pretty sure most of the characters in the show are going to be playable characters in the game. And it's a co-op game too, so you can play with somebody.
I'm enjoying watching these clips of just Joyce and Jim Hopper just thrashing people.
Right? Yeah, super excited about that one. I get to watch the show and play the game with it. That's gonna be so much fun.
That's the Nintendo trying to go for that dual screen experience, apparently.
Yeah. Yeah, that old garbage. But so yeah, that's the indie showcase. A lot of interesting games, a lot of new games, and it gets me very excited because Nintendo has never really jumped on the whole indie game kind of thing. They just stood to what they knew, their Marios and Zeldas and stuff.
Oh yeah. For so long, indie games was just kind of the realm of PCs, and then once digital downloads started becoming a thing, like invaded the Xbox and the PS4 like digital store.
Yeah, and so it jumping on Nintendo and them being like, hey, we want your games is super cool. And the idea of playing indie games on the go is great because indie games are much more like on the lighter side of gaming, right?
Oh yeah.
And
Like,
they
yeah.
work so well on like a small screen and stuff. So I don't want them to be a phone game. So
I've yet to find a phone game that really captivates me, but back to like I'm really thinking now the future of gaming is definitely portability, and I think the Switch is why like the Switch is so amazing, right?
Right.
But also like why I freaked out about GeForce Now, like this ability to just play these games anywhere.
Yeah. Future.
Well, that's what we got excited about this week. Thank you so much for enthusing with us. If you enjoyed what you heard, share it with a buddy and you can nerd out together. If you have any recommendations for improvements, feel free to leave them in the comments of our iTunes, our SoundCloud, our Stitcher page, or ratings and those comments. They do a lot. Tell us what you guys want to hear, what improvements we should make, or you could join our Discord. We have dedicated channels on our Those Nerds Cast Discord. We have dedicated channels for just podcast recommendations, improvements, things we should check out, and it's just a cool place to hang out with us. We like to post like really cool things we're excited about. We post visual aids to go with the episode, so you can find links to the things we're talking about there. We opened up our website recently. It's thosenerdscast.wix site. That's wixsite.com/home. You can find all of our episodes there. You can listen to them on the website there. And also links to like every other player that we're available on: SoundCloud, Stitcher, iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, YouTube, and there's also forums to contact us there. There's a little biography portion about us if you want to see what we look like and learn a little more about us. And occasionally we'll put up blog posts. We're trying to get transcripts for our episodes put up, so if you have someone who has hearing impairments that you want to share the show with, we're going to try and get transcripts up for you to share with them. Before we plug ourselves, I just wanted to remind that on May 17th to the 19th is going to be live stream for The Cure, hosted by the amazing guys at the Epic Film Guys podcast. They're working with the Cancer Research Institute to raise $7,500 for immunotherapy research, and we're gonna be guesting on May 17th at 2:30 Pacific Standard Time with our good friend Suspiria, and we're gonna be doing something I think is really cool, and it would really mean a lot to us if you just told friends that'd be interested and just show up, show your support. And if you could donate money during the stream, that'd be amazing. Did you want to plug anything, Sal?
All right, so you can find me at Twitter at Salzik, on Instagram at Mr. Salzik. I also have a blog, which I mentioned before, gottamoment.com. That's Gotta with Gotta. And I stream on Thursday nights at 6 PST with my friend Suspiria, and his Twitch channel is Where is Suspiria.
And you can find me on Twitter. I am at ArielEyes_. I don't post typically, but it's a good way to contact me for anyone interested in working with the podcast. We are looking for guests to have on April. And if you're interested, hit us up. Thank you again for listening. Thank you to our friends Hughes and Suspiria for their questions. And we will see you next Wednesday.
Goodbye.